decision to revamp rail sector and to develop the fire-ravaged Kantamanto market into a modern rail station, which has developed into controversy between government and traders of the market. Tonight, we ask the critical question: why the Hello and welcome to PM Express. My name is Nana Ansakwa. Tonight, operations of Ghana Railway began in 1898 under the Gold Coast Civil Service with headquarters in Sekondi. The headquarters was transferred to Takoradi after the building of the Takoradi Harbour and Rail and Ports were jointly administered as the Ghana Railways and Port Authority. In 1976, the SMCD 95 separated the railway from ports as the Ghana Railway Corporation. Construction of the Ghana Railway started before the construction of port facilities and locomotives. For decades, the railway sector has not attracted investment, and the government's efforts to make it attractive means of transport remains evasive. The ruling government has stated that it is on course with reviving the defunct rail sector and has time and again touted its plans for revamping the sector, but nothing significant has materialized. Ghana's railway sector is in a collapsing stage and does not befit the country's lower middle income status. The recent twist to the issue is the Transport Ministry's decision to revamp the rail sector and develop the fire-ravaged Kantamanto market into a modern rail station, which has developed into controversy between government and traders of the market. Tonight, we ask the critical question: why the rail sector keeps dwindling, and why must it take government the burning of the Kantamanto traders market to decide to turn the facility into a modern rail station? Joining me tonight to dissect the issue are representatives from the Ministry of Transport, and also joining us later will be the Finance Secretary of the Kantamanto Traders Association. Now, to my left is Egypt Kutodu, media liaison from the Ministry of Transport. Now, before we go into the conversation, we'll go for a quick break, and then when we come back, we'll get talking. Hello and welcome back to the show. As I said, we are discussing the rail sector. We're also discussing the burning of Kantamanto market and then the sudden appearance of all the plans and decisions to turn it into either a supermarket, either a railway station, whatever it is that's going to be turned into. That's why we're here to discuss it. I was supposed to have two guests. One is still on the way, but with me in the studio who speaks on the behalf of Ministry of Transport is Egypt Kudoto. Egypt, exactly. Good evening.
Thank you. Good evening. How are you doing?
Speak up a bit for me.
Okay.
Egypt. Now, everything was going fine. Monday, the traders were trading. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, they were trading, and mainly used clothing.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Sunday, the place burns down.
Yeah.
By Tuesday morning, there's a plan for a helicopter pad, airport, a harbour, a train station, a high fly. Suddenly, all these plans are coming from everywhere. Now, we live in a country where even proposed projects seem to take ages before they materialize. Yeah. The railway section itself, look at how long it's taking and look at how dilapidated it is. All of a sudden, from nowhere, plans and everything are coming. Now, if I was a trader, I will not accept. Would you accept if you were a trader?
I would accept everything that the Ministry of Transport is saying as far as our decision to work on the Kantamanto side.
You didn't hear me. it's not as if on Monday we came with a plan to say, oh, next week we'll build you a supermarket, and then Sunday the place burned down. No, there's no plans, there's nothing. We are trading happily. All of a sudden, you know, this unfortunate incident happens on Sunday. There's visibility studies, there's money, there are investors. Where did they come from Sunday morning?
The issue of refurbishing the rail sector or resuscitating the rail industry
started after the fire.
It's not starting from Kantamanto.
Okay.
When we took office, when I say we took office, the first NDC under the late President Mills.
You are taking advantage of their demise?
No. Yes. The late President, you started the revamping process with extending the rail line from Asaprochuna, a point around Sakumono, to Tema Harbour. By that project, we made rail transportation accessible to the people of Tema.
Yeah.
So they could just move from their homes and get to Tema ports and then join the train straight to Accra. So those working in Accra, the stress of driving on the motorway, the long stretch motorway, the stress of spending 2-3 hours in traffic was supposed to be a thing of the past.
Every Ghanaian
yes, I'm going there. I'm coming to the Kantamanto. So I need to build a point.
So you can add it to your point.
Yeah.
Every Ghanaian supports the rail extension.
For sure.
When President Mills, God bless his soul, was alive and brought all those trains in and they were working good on them. But Kantamanto Market was still there in the same state. The sudden agency added to your submission.
It's not a sudden agency. Let me add it to my submission. I'm saying so because I'm building a point.
Okay.
After we completed the extension of the rail line from the Asaprochuna side to Tema Port and then by extension to Community 1. Now it's with the communities now. It's gone past the Tema Port. After that, then we need to provide terminals for those who will be riding on the train from Tema to Accra. Okay. So we started that project by building a state-of-the-art terminal at Tema. So you go to Community 1 now, you see first-class facility where drivers come there, workers in Accra come there, park their cars, jump on the train, they are coming to work. From the Tema side, we then move to Bachona, put up a splendid architecture there as our terminal. You go there, you see facility for the disabled, toilet facilities for the disabled, restroom, places that you come, you're waiting for the train, you sit and rest, places that for even ticketing. We want to eliminate the human factor where you know what...
Automated?
You know, automated. So you go there now as we speak, there is a facility there, our terminal is there. Very soon we'll start functioning, we'll commission it soon. From Bachona, we then move to Achimota Terminal. It's right behind Santana Market, around Tesano Police Station.
Okay.
So it's not as though this tragic incident go out to those who lost their words and those who lost all their properties. But for sure, the process of restructuring, the process of rebuilding, the process of resuscitating the rail is not starting because all of a sudden there's something there. We started from Tema, we built 3 massive terminals,
let me rephrase,
and so that is going to be another one.
I am not saying that the revamping of the rail sector is a bad thing. Indeed, everyone encourages it and applauds you. With the issue of Kantamanto, if that Sunday, that fire did not happen, would you have turned up on Tuesday with bulldozers and plants?
Definitely not. No. The turning up with bulldozers was not from the Ghana Railway Development Authority. I guess the issue of management of market is the sole responsibility of every district, municipal, or metropolitan assembly. And therefore, the right thing the AMA did on that day was to clear the mess after the fire gutted the place and make sure the place was in proper kind of state. So the issue of fixing the place after the devastating fire was the work of the assembly. Fair enough. But the issue of making sure we build a first-class terminal is an ongoing project. It's not something that we were sleeping and after the fire we got up and they said, hey, quickly, let's go do something. We've started this project of the terminal things and we've done 3, like I said, and I mentioned them. The points are there. Tomorrow your cameras can go there. You will see them there. So the terminal at Kantamanto is on the drawing board. It's in the pipeline, and fire or no fire, we're going to go there to reclaim our facility and make sure we give the people of this country first-class functioning terminal.
Egypt, the guys still have about 20-year lease, which they have leased from you. They claim they've leased it from you. They have a 20-year lease. They haven't finished serving their lease. Now, what do you mean you're going to build a terminal there when they still have a lease with you? It's like you renting my house and then I just turn up in the middle of your contract and say, well, thieves have stolen everything in your house, so now move out. I'm going to rent it to somebody else.
Let me even before answering the substantive question, it's just interesting that At the time we created the Ministry of Railways, that was the same time I thought, as a government that was committed to restructuring the sector, we'll go looking for railway facilities, railway structures, railway lands, and to make sure they reclaim more. But that was a period that they went out giving out railway lines on rental basis. I thought that was lands on rental basis. And I thought that was unacceptable and ironic that you created a ministry responsible for railway, thinking that you were going to restructure our sector, thinking that you were going to give us effective and efficient transport system by way of rail system. All of a sudden, they started renting out lands. If, serious governments committed to restructuring the sector had not done this thing, which seriously is unacceptable, we will not even be sitting here discussing this issue. So but having said that, I'm saying that this government is more than committed to restructuring this sector. No, it doesn't.
And so therefore, we haven't got into commitment. You have the contract with the trader.
Issue of the contract. There is a segment of that contract
that says
that gives
the market bends, you're out.
Not knowing the market bends, that gives the railway the option that as and when they are ready to utilize the land, they can come out there and pick their land and do it. And so, as I'm saying, this Ministry of Transport is more than ready to start projects. So
before we go, let me repeat what you said. You were saying that the Kantamanto Traders Association signed a contract with you saying that whenever you are ready to come and get this land, and get it. And they append their signature.
Very well so. Very well so.
I hope Alhaji Ilyasu gets here before the end.
There's a segment of that agreement that they committed themselves to, that the railway system company is saying that as and when we are ready. Of course, as I said earlier on, I thought it was even unacceptable for a government that is supposed to be rebuilding our structures to be giving them out. Wow. But that has happened. So we are not here to play the blame game. But what I'm saying is our government, the government of the National Democratic Congress, is giving the rail sector the maximum attention. And the passion we have in developing it, nothing will change. So we're saying that the workers, that day I heard a spokesperson for the group say something extraordinary and very fantastic. He said that, look, they are more than ready and willing to relocate once the assembly can find a suitable place for them. I thought that was fantastic, and I thought we should applaud the spokesperson for the Traders Association. And that tells me they are very much aware that for sure, as and when the railway company or railway development authority needs that land, they can come for it. And that is exactly what we are doing. We are just going for a piece of land that belongs to us, that we want to give this country a system that will contribute to our middle income status that we ought to attain for us to be able to improve the lots of our people.
But you are aware some of your staff is also selling land, right? There's an alleged Mr. Amu who's sold the land for 2,000 cedis to one of the guys to build a house. They have that report reached you that some of the same railway guys are selling land?
Of course, our ministry will investigate every single malpractice on the part of the railway workers. That is, that has brought us to the state we find ourselves now. So for sure, government lands, no individual has not even His Excellency the President of the Republic of Ghana can sell the land that belongs to the states. Except, of course, it's government decision that for redevelopment purposes or for purposes in the interest of the country, we need to give out this land. But not when we need a land to develop our rail infrastructure.
I'm a bit stuck on there because now you have said that the traders have already signed the clause saying that whenever the landowner comes, we have to pack and go. So unless they speak, I am a bit
very much so.
I wonder how you can stand in court and say, I've given a lease for 50 years, but any time within that 50 years, I can come and take you. And they say, yes, we're happy to do that. Okay.
Very much so.
But there's another thing I want you to comment to it, and this is what Mrs. Ativo said, that she was going to turn the place into a modern railway station, which is like in every developed country, and then after that, get the traders to, give them a space in there. Now, these traders sell used clothing. Now, I don't know why, as a state, we think that used clothing should be sold, because they are mainly wholesalers of used clothing. Why you should go and wholesale used clothing in your capital district? I mean, that is your prime, the creme de la creme. Why can't used clothing go to Pokwasi, Amasama, and so on, so that the retailer goes there, buys the bills, and then come and hang it in the shop so that you retail it rather than wholesale it from there? But in any case, my question is, where in the developed world would you go to a train station and they sell bales of used clothing?
No, I'm not too sure. My minister categorically mentioned that after the project is completed, they will be given to the. So maybe what she was trying to say is that we're going to make sure we have the state-of-the-art shopping mall there, and for sure, if somebody is interested in going in there, can go. But never, my boss said that after everything, the place will be given back to them. Not at all. That absolutely didn't come from.
Opportunity to appeal to the traders that they should not go back there, because they were going to develop the rail lines. As she said, she added that when it was developed, it will be converted into a big shopping mall, as it is done everywhere.
Exactly.
Okay, so what? She's not saying that. So what? You just take it away from them. They should just go and find.
No.
Who's going to survive?
So, much as we sympathize with what is happening, the issue of building markets per the loss of the land is strictly under the control of the assemblies. And therefore, I am more than confident that the AMA, the Accra Metropolitan Authority, is putting in measures to relocate them. Of course, there are a lot of space at the market, at the Odona side, that some of them will be going. I know they will relocate.
Let's move away from Kantamanto and look at the rail system. Now, rail is an essential transport. It will cut down traffic. It's cheaper, it's quicker, it's convenient. Pollution-wise, it's superb and everything. And you've said about your government's commitment and your government's commitment, and I just want you to know that your government's, the meat is very close to the bone. Have they got any left to invest in rail for us to benefit? And the answer is no, because where is this meat going to come from to put in the rail station?
The answer is a big yes.
Good.
Like I said, when we took office in 2009, railway workers' salaries were in arrears for about 8 to 9 months.
Okay.
8 to 9 months. They were not motivated to work. There was nothing that was motivating them. 9 good months, Nana, no salary. I'm not too sure you can even be ready to come and sit in here.
No, not even.
And that was the situation that the National Democratic Congress inherited. And quickly, His Excellency, our late president again, directed that our ministry, take serious steps to make sure we clear all of those salary arrears. And exactly that.
And there's still some money left to go into the rail development, because it's capital intensive.
Exactly, that's we did. And some of them were laid off before we took office. Their severance package were not paid. We took care of that.
The money
After all of that, we invested additional 2 million in some minimal intervention on the Western Line. And the Western Line is seriously into cutting our export commodities, cocoa, timber, on all of that, manganese and bauxite.
Is that not the mistake we have done?
Yeah.
That the colonial masters route of the rail, we are enhancing it. Instead of bringing the rail to Akosombo, bringing rail to, Sunyani.
You are just telling me, as a country, we should stop exporting our commodities.
I say we are enhancing the colonial masters rail route. So we don't have rail that is just like a commuter rail.
For sure.
Somebody brings to Kaneshi, to those areas.
At the time we were investing the $2 million on the Western Line to do some minimal intervention. We were doing serious job on the Tema stretch to do the shuttle services. So it's not as though we abandoned the shuttle services and concentrated only on the Western Line. And to add to that, one of the major reasons why we were committed to quickly putting some money the Western Line was we needed to help in internally generated fund for the company, so we can help with the salaries, because government alone was finding it difficult, month after month, to cover salaries for over 2,000 workers. So we needed to put some life in the rail line.
In one breath, you're saying it's difficult to cough up salary. In the next breath, there's money to enhance the rail. So which is
for sure. If you have budget, you have capital expenditure. You have money that you want to spend in salaries. You understand recurrent expenditure. You understand. You want money. So the fact that we were finding it difficult to get money to pay month after month for no work done, or for people who are not contributing.
I don't like when you say we. When you say we, it's as if the money is for NDC, but it's the state. We are talking about the state.
Supervising,
I know, but let's look at it as the state, because whether it was you or not, whether it was the CPP or whatever it is, it's still a state money.
Of course.
So when you say we narrow it down to partisan. So I just want us to look at it as a state, as we are. Do we have that money? And the answer is no.
The state Ghana is committed to making sure we revamp it. Of course, as a developing country, the pressures on social services, health, education, sanitation and all of that are so demanding that very little is left to do huge capital projects. And I don't know in which parts of the developing world that you have governments investing seriously in capital-intensive projects like the rail. It is for that reason that we needed international funding, we needed international capital, we needed donor support. And so that's why I'm saying that the immediate thing we did was to invest the $2 million on the Western Line. And by that investment, the railway company is now able to increase their internally generated fund to support what government gives, so that we can pay. I don't have the figures directly here, but what I'm saying is, with that 2 million intervention that we as a government committed to the Western Line, the railway workers will tell you that
why has this sector been so unattractive to investors? The rail sector, why has it been so unattractive?
Investor is interested in putting his or her money in an investment that will quickly give them return. Rail sector is one area that it takes a lot of time, and so basically that is the difficulty. But having said that, we have created a very fantastic environment that people are now excited in investing in the sector, and so you're going to see rail sector that is competing with road transport services, that is competing with the aviation sector in terms of its efficiency and effectiveness. So for sure, we aren't living in Eastern Anten. We are very... Darby, in Tanko.
You just said, we're going to see an investment, blah, blah. As if in the next 6 months, we'll see trains, crisscrossing each other. What happened to the 10 billion project that was supposed to be running from Weja through Kandeshi, and it was a dream project where traffic was going to cut down?
You mean
there was a name for it. It was this trams and...
No, not the tram system. You mean the rapid
transport system.
It's a World Bank funded project. As I speak to you now, the infrastructure segment is being done. If you go to Graffy Road right now, you see some serious work going on there. And so the aspect of the infrastructure side belongs to the highways section. Urban road section of the Ministry of Roads and Highways. So of course that is not under the purview of the Ministry of Transport. So there's something going on there.
I mean, it's been 3 years, but
no, when it was World Bank funded project, normally the inflow, is not as if you don't control it. They are managing it, and therefore, it's taking time. But for sure, there's something going on to prove that we want to create a dedicated lane where buses may be moving from Kasua to Accra Central. We'll have a lane that will not be controlled by traffic.
We'll see this thing in our lifetime.
It's here in Nigeria. We're going to see it. It's not something that is so sophisticated. For sure, we'll see it. Even beyond the World Bank arrangements, as a government, we ourselves are looking for alternative sources of funding to carry out that project. Just recently, my minister, the transport minister, the roads minister, and local government, held some fruitful discussion in finding some solution to that stalled project. So surely there's something going on, and a lot is happening. A lot is happening. With the rail sector, it's going to be an extraordinary achievement of this administration. The kind of commitment and passion we have for that sector.
Where's the money coming from?
The money.
Yes. To go in the rail sector. That's going to be that extraordinary.
Don't forget that the 3 billion Chinese facility we are expecting it. No, of course, when you are expecting donor funding, it's not, the bureaucracy involved. It is not just like, as it's where you get up in your house and you put your hands in your pocket and pick money and give to your wife. It goes through processes. And for sure, we've allocated $500 million out of the 3 billion to the rail sector alone. And that tells you, once that inflow arrived, you're going to see something different.
Are you sure that 3 billion is going to come?
It's coming.
The Chinese said that the preparations that you brought, as in the state, that Ghana brought, was not complete. They are not prepared to give you 3 billion when you haven't even done feasibility studies. They're not going to give you 3 billion. That loan
facility was approved based on feasibility. For instance, the gas facility that is ongoing, there was a feasibility, and that project alone is going to have the capacity to pay for the loan.
Sinopec is going back.
They are not going back. They are back to sites. They are working. They are busy.
No, but you know why they were leaving? Because of lack of funds.
Of course, some of these things happen. But I am saying that the 3 billion facility is coming, and out of the 3 billion, the railway alone is taking 500. That tells you that we are more than ready to make sure we have a railway that is...
What is wrong in saying that? Listen, us last year, we ran over our budget by 8.7 billion.
Yeah.
Now, we need at least maybe 5 to 6 years to catch up before we can start having balances in our budget, and then we can start looking in the rail industry. What is wrong in saying that? Why desperate? Where is that money? We can't even fail this. Where is that extra money coming from?
I'm not too sure deficit budgeting is a wrong thing. Even at the family level, your daughter is qualified for the secondary school. Your son has to go to the university. Civil servant, immediately you don't have the kind of resources you need to. You go out there to borrow. There's deficit at home. But what is the reason for the deficit? You are giving education to your children. In that education, the long-term benefits are tremendous. So it is the same way as a developing country. When you have deficit budgeting, that is, we are spending more than we get in terms of our revenue. At the end of the day, it's into developing gas infrastructure. At the end of the day, it's into developing the rail infrastructure. At the end of the day, it's into developing lake transport services on the Volta Lake. And you know the potential on the Volta Lake. You are talking about the food baskets at Afram Plains that is going to feed the commercial markets of Accra, Kumasi, and other places. That is going to feed the working people of Ghana. So once the transport services on the water is effective, the rail transport is effective, all the modes of transport are functioning, the deficit becomes irrelevant because all of these things are able to cater for these deficits and grow this economy and give jobs to our people. Because when we start the real work now, when the money comes and we start work, the job opportunities are going to be enormous.
Egypt, this is the 20th year or over of running a democratic rule. This is the 20th year.
Yeah.
So as a state, you being a representative of the state, when did all these big dreams come in? When Kantamanto bent?
In fact, the big dream started from the founder of this country, the great Osajifo, Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. No, you are saying that where is this big... So it's not like this whole thing even is... For instance, the Bui Power Project is not something that started under the Fourth Republic.
Let's come back. Let's come back. What I'm trying to say is, so... we are going to build a fantastic rail system. It's going to boost the economy.
Very well.
We're going to extend the Western Line and everything. And what I'm saying is, when did we realize as a state that if we had money, we should put it into the rail industry and not like now where all of a sudden there's this big urgency. And clearly, the state hasn't got money. The finance minister said several times that they are, in the red, almost in the red. And now we are middle income, so certain petty monies don't come in again. So basically, we are somewhat broke. And there you are with your big dreams with a fantastic railway. You're waiting for 3 billion Chinese loan. And, this money has been coming since.
Whilst we're waiting for that money, you go to Santana Market behind it. There's a new terminal there. So there's something going on. That it is not as though when you go to Takoradi right now, we are building the line from Secondary to Takoradi through Kojo Krom. It's an ongoing project. Your cameras can go there tomorrow. See, that is not being funded by the 3 billion. So what I'm saying is, as a government, because of our resolve to bring rail industry back to where it belongs, there's something going on. I want your cameras to do some serious documentary on what is going on.
When was the last time you drove over the motorway?
I think yesterday or 2 days ago.
You saw the state of it?
Of the motorway.
Do you know how many governments have promised to resurface that? Do you know when was the last time you go over the Adome Bridge? Do you know how many governments...
I travel on Adome Bridge almost every week. I come from the Volta region, so that is a...
I come from Edumasan, so I don't necessarily cross the bridge.
Oh, you drive before? I drive on it every other weekend, so I know...
I go and see my paramountcy in Akwemufie, so I have to go over it. Do you know how many promises have been made to refurbish that? The same promise, just like you made. Oh, we will extend it, refurbish it, do this.
I think that bridge is supposed to be closed down around June this year, if I'm not mistaken, for some serious...
Over 50 years... Over 50 years. You see, I don't want to. I'm
but of course, the fact that that's why I didn't want us to.
That's why I don't want us to narrow this to NDC, because it's not the NDC's fault. It's the state.
Yeah, of course. And therefore, the joy of it is that there's a new government that is ready to right the wrongs. There's a government that is committed to correcting. No, I'm saying that. I'm looking at the government of His Excellency President John Mahama.
No. I don't agree with that.
You are saying that.
This is not a new government.
Yes, but as a country, as a nation,
run one term, gone into elections, and coming back. It's not a new government. There's nothing new about this government. There's everything old about this government.
Okay, the continuing government.
Thank you.
Started something, and it's ongoing. Started something by extending the rail line from Asaprachona. Completing it to Tema Community 1. So what it means is, like 4 years ago, you could not travel from Tema to Accra on rail.
Okay.
But today,
you can.
Commendable. So
commendable. I won't take that away from you.
4 years
All
ago,
I am taking away from you is your big
everything
dreams.
would need to go on the road in the Western region. Today, it has improved. We've just imported some, I can't just remember the number. A lot of wagons now is conveying the bauxite and the manganese now to the ports. Years gone by, they have to use trucks. So there is some improvement. Years ago, railway was not able to generate a peswa to contribute to their salary issues, but today they are able to generate substantial resources because we have done some level of investment. How much is
substantial? 20%, 30%, 40%?
In fact, if it was 0 and today they are generating 10%, it's substantial.
Is it impressive? Is it a yardstick to go by?
It's impressive compared to the situation a few years back.
If there are 10 people in class and then I come up 9th, just because I wasn't last doesn't mean that it was good enough. The fact that I was not last in class and that I came
in the last exams, your highest score was 40 over 100 and today it's 55 over 100. It's an improvement. So we can only say that more room for improvement.
So is that not the danger why we are here now? Because we think that because we added another kilometer, I was better than the 2 previous governments. The next one comes and adds another half a mile. It's just like low punching.
That is why I'm saying that come 2016, when this government would have to go back to the electorates, we'll have something to show, more especially at the transport sector, and very importantly at the rail infrastructure.
Every leader that's ever led Ghana, whether bad or good, left a legacy.
For sure.
You can never take it away from them. But if we are in a state that we are now, clearly you consider and tell me that this state is doing well or is a good state.
Yeah.
We've put ourselves, and it's not a matter of NDC. Our mentality, our structures, our systems have been such that so many things that we should have done, we have not done. But today, we are just limiting it to the rail industry. You and I know that for transport to be effective, rail plays a major role.
Very, very important.
Can carry 2-3 million people a day.
Very important.
To get the economy moving. However, we are in 2013 and we are talking about a stop in Bachona, a stop in Achimota. It is not an impressive thing that we should say hooray. It's an embarrassment. This is 50 years since we got independence.
To the extent that you took office at the time, there was no functioning rail system between Accra Tema. To the extent that within 4 years, you have a functioning line. Hold on. You know how many passengers
Are you speaking for the Ministry of Transport? Are you speaking for NDC?
Sure. No, Ministry of Transport. I'm talking about the government, the NDC government.
No. I don't want you to talk about the NDC government.
So Ministry
you
of Transport.
represent the government, don't you?
Yeah, for sure.
Yes, you represent the government.
For sure.
So that's why I want to tell you that as
Ministry
a government
of Transport.
Yes, as Ministry of Transport, you have failed in the rail sector. Not NDC. It's got nothing to do with NDC.
As a Ministry of Transport,
whether Kufuor, whether Rollins,
as a Ministry of Transport, even the very fact that today you come to the ministry, we have master plan for this country's rail infrastructure tells you we are committed. As a Ministry of Transport,
do you know how many master plans this country's got?
No.
Do you know how many policies are lying on shelves?
My answer is directly at the rail system.
Of course.
And I'm saying that Ministry of Transport today is having master plan of the rail infrastructure of this country from south to north.
How much money is attached to that plan? What budget? How much is it going to cost, and how much budget have you allocated to it? Because you know how much. You know my plans. I should show you, but I haven't got money to implement it. So it's lying there waiting. I want to know how much money that plan is going to cost. And how much budget you have allocated to it. But before you answer, we're going to go for a quick break and come back. We want to find out what these big plans are. Can I just sit in the train in Adenta and go to WA and come back? How much is it going to cost? And how much is it being allocated in the budget? This conversation is getting heated. We'll be right back. Hello and welcome back to PM Express. And just before we went on the break, we wanted to find out what this big plans for government on the railway is. How much is it going to cost? How much of our budget is being allocated towards these big plans, or is there any, foreign donor, as we always get, to come and invest in it? But before, you made a few comments on Facebook. Kojo Ansa Jr., please, I want to know if the Kantamanto market will be used as a modern railway station. Apparently so. And then Bonti Benjamin, flowery words cannot revamp the railway sector of this country, but effective action plan that have the heart to make Ghana the business center of Africa in this 21st century. Ghana deserves extremely better. Bonti, I agree with you. And then Franklin Yawa Samoa, I like your show. Franklin, I like you too. And then El Shaddai Daniel, is the Ministry of Transport sacking our mothers from the Kantamanto market? Where do they want them to go? And then this one says the Ministry of Transport should go back to the drawing board and rethink. There was another one that says that, you know what? The Kantamanto traders don't have any case. They should just leave the market. Allegedly so, because apparently, and they did not come to speak for themselves, but they have signed a 50-year lease which can be broken at any given time. When railways are ready, they'll come back to them and say, you know what, pack your bags and go. We're going to use our land. And they appended their signature. Who am I to defend them? But before I do, my brother, these big plans, how much is it going to cost?
To the extent that in all parts of the world, even in the most advanced countries,
yes,
rail infrastructure is always financed from private sector funding. It's difficult to have government.
No, the infrastructure is normally state, but then sort of private people come and rent the rails.
Yeah, and now Ghana government is now performing on the platform of the public-private partnership agenda, and on that basis,
we are talking about the big plans, yeah.
Yeah, the important thing government did was to make sure there is a plan. Now, when you come to our ministry, day in day out, you have investors coming, expressing interest in maybe the line from Accra to, let's say, Akosombo. You know, as part of our transport sector improvement, we have this multimodal project. For instance, we're saying that when we want to move goods from Tema Port to the north, we need not to go on this Kumasi stretch. We have
let me stop you there. Normally, right, what the state will do is you will construct the rail lines from Accra to Kumasi, Accra to Sunyani. I then come with my car and rent your line to use. So these big plans, what exactly does it entail? Are you constructing rail lines to all over the country? I then buy my car and say, look, Egypt, I want to rent the line from Accra to Kumasi, and then I use it, and then you pay me. I mean, I pay you. Is that it, or that's different?
No, what we are doing is, once the master plan is out, when the investors come, you know, a lot of them are coming in.
No, the master plan is out. You said that before the break. Yes.
Yeah, so that's saying that once it's out now, what we are doing is we are engaging the, international funding.
How much does the master plan cost?
No, it's not possible I can give you how much it costs.
Guesstimate, 2 billion, 3 billion?
No, it cannot be so. Because what I'm saying is that we have planned to get rail to cover the whole country as the master plan.
Very good.
But it doesn't mean that government is ready to construct.
Has it been divided in phase 1, phase 2, phase 3?
No, not like phases. We have the central line, we have the western line, we have the eastern line. Okay. For instance, like we want to get Koforidua to Kumasi line functioning. We want to get the...
Okay, let's go Koforidua to Ashanti line.
Yeah.
Does government then find the money, build the tracks, and then call Nana Sakwa, go and buy a train, and I'll rent you my line so you can use it from Koforidua to Tema? What is the plan? Give me some details.
When you look at our budget as a country, not only NDC's budget, in all these years, allocation to health education alone takes more than 60 or so % of the budget.
So we're down to 40.
So we're down to 40. And
now how much is rail taking?
How much is transport taking? And normally...
What's the transport budget roughly in a year for Ghana? I don't know. I don't have it. Do you have it?
No. What happens is...
How much do we allocate? I mean, I know agriculture is taking 11.7 of total revenue.
Agriculture is even taking more than we are taking.
So if agriculture is taking more than you are taking, and agriculture can't even get fertilizer, where are you going to get a train
from? Our budgetary allocations are not meant to go into major investments like building of rail lines. Normally. They are not.
Egypt,
because there's no way big plan. No, there's no way as a country we can seriously say at the current state of development we can finance any major rail infrastructure.
Thank you very much. It's taking me 45 minutes to get that out of you.
But the fact that we are providing the conducive environment for private sector participation, it's a big jump.
Which is good. I don't remember what he's commending it. It's just that all throughout this interview,
but for instance,
you have made it clear that government was going to make something.
But for instance, the issue of like this terminal that we have provided, the shuttle services from Accra to Tema, is something that within our budget we are able to manage. But I'm saying that, for instance, a major project like the Western Line, which is a huge project, which is taking about $500 million.
Let me go back to the trains that you currently have now. They are barely 3 years old. They are falling apart.
I'm not sure about
Yes, they are falling apart.
Of course.
The seats are broken, the lights are not working, and you have people hanging on the back of it, you know, from Tema.
No, the new ones, you cannot have anybody. Once the last person joins it, the doors are closed, and there's no, you know, lift or anything around any place that you can stand on. It's not possible to hang on the new ones we have. Of course, the Insawam one that comes goods and those ones, you can talk about that. But what runs on the Tema stretch, no way. It's not possible.
Maintenance. Are you making enough money to maintain them, or do you need extra funding from elsewhere to maintain it? Are you charging enough to maintain the trains?
For now, government is not directly, you know, the Ministry of Transport is not funding the maintenance. The day-to-day maintenance is what the railway.
So you need to run the trains, and some other department from somewhere has to bring some money so we maintain the trains.
No, I'm saying that the Ghana Railway, they themselves, you know, within their own internal structures, are doing their own thing. So what I'm saying is not the ministry that funds maintenance.
Is Ghana Railway able to charge enough to maintain the train?
For now, for instance,
fuel,
moving from Tema to Accra is only 1 CD. We are, you know, engaging stakeholders to see how we can see some adjustment. Of course, one of the reasons why maybe, you know, those who patronize the service will enjoy.
Is that why no investor is coming?
No. Maybe the investors
I won't come and invest. I mean, if you're going to charge 1 CD from... No. How much is the seat in a train? It's probably that's 20 Ghana cedis.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. You know that single one carries about 620 passengers? The red and gold.
As in the single...
It's huge.
Coach?
No, the whole stretch as you have it. The one stretch that moves.
It's three.
I think
it's 3 cars, yeah?
Yeah.
It comes with 600 people. Yeah. So every time it comes back, it's 600 Ghana cedis.
Yeah. No, it can't be. What I'm saying is that...
Well, if everybody's paying 1 CD and it takes 600 people...
No, but it doesn't run one stretch and go. The whole day, it's most, you know...
No, so I'm thinking, you know, I'm just saying, at the maximum, it's doing 600, 1,200, you know, assuming it was full up.
And it's always full up.
It's always full up. Very good. Is that money enough to fuel the car, pay the staff, and maintain it?
That's what I'm saying. That
we're going to run through the same system where we don't have renovation budget and we run into the ground.
Staff. For instance, when we were starting it, you cannot start a new project when you want people to patronize it and get the rates even more than those who are already in the market, like the transport services, like the road transport services. So we started with 1 CD. So that's what I'm saying, that we are engaging the stakeholder, major players, to see how we can have some upward adjustment. And those who are patronizing will enjoy paying more if services we are providing is exciting to them. For instance, like in the past, they used to stand in the sun waiting for the train.
No, I'm not suggesting that you pay
I'm saying that, what I'm saying is that today you go there, there's a beautiful terminal you sit in. So when I come and say now, instead of 1 CD, pay 1 CD 50%, you will say, oh, of course, with what I see, with the facilities I enjoy, I'm ready to pay more.
Why are you thinking of paying more instead of adding more cars to make more money?
Adding more trains.
Yeah, so that you make more money, so that you can take 1,000 or 2,000 people.
It's part of the plans. It's part of the expansion. It's one of the reasons why we need Kantamanto. Because more DMUs are coming. Diesel multiple units, more of them are coming, and we will need them. And therefore, the important reason why the need to get the Kantamanto line is very critical. It's now. So more trains are coming because the patronage is growing.
Where are we buying the trains from?
Oh, the last one, I think we got them from India. I mean, the arrangements are there as to which one is the most suitable one we'll go for. It's not like specifically we're waiting for one coming from maybe Egypt or, you know, Mozambique or Germany or Holland or something. We are just, you know, looking at the options. What will best suit our pocket is what we'll go for.
Thank you very much. Guys, it's getting very excited, but I'm sure you're also getting excited because very soon you'll be catching a train from Circle to airport, from airport to Cantonment.
For sure.
And we are all looking up to it. But in the meantime, in between time, Blue Rose is telling us that they are leading real estate developer in Africa who are building affordable houses, and they're presenting to you shelter for all. With houses as low as 50 Ghana cedis, you cannot beat that. For more information, give them a call on 020-202-9622 or 030-2241-459, and that's Blue Rose Limited. We're coming straight back and then we'll round up. This is getting excited. I beg your pardon. Now let's go on with your big dream for the railways. The stations that have already been built, they are taking 3 cars at the moment, the car from Tema to Accra is 3 cars. The train, 3 cars. If we bring in more trains from India and extend it to 8 cars, the stations that we have now, do they extend 8 cars?
No.
What is the other guy in the back going to do?
When the new ones come, they are on their own. It's not like we are adding wagons. We are not adding. We are bringing.
Oh, so you have different sets of trains.
Different sets of trains.
Different sets of trains.
Exactly.
Is that not too much fuel?
No, it's because the traffic is growing.
The whole idea of a train is that you have one car pulling so many cars so that you can make money. You know, so you just have one engine that's dragging all these.
You know,
cars.
the two that is planned the terminal. Once we are fixing the in-sound stretch, we need shuttle services on the in-sound stretch too, because a lot of workers now come from in-sound side to Accra and they stay in traffic for long. Productivity, it's affected once we spend all of the time in traffic. But once we have this in-sound stretch also coming on board, we'll need the DMUs on the line, and therefore it is a holistic thing. It's a whole package. When the DMUs are coming, the lines are being fixed, the terminals are springing up. So it's a complete package for the people of Ghana to enjoy the best of the rail services.
How soon would this big plan take off?
It's not about to take off. It's an ongoing thing. We are in motion.
I like that.
Yeah, but if
you know how long something can be in motion?
No, if we already have a terminal at Teman, if we have one at Bachona, if we have one at...
It's all parts of the big plan.
Yeah, it's all parts of the revival that the railway must see and must experience to get very effective and efficient. So it's an ongoing thing. It's not like, hey, when are we starting this? We've completed the 3. We need 2 more. And so it's an ongoing thing.
I was going to quote Alhaji Inusa Fusaini.
Yeah.
He was lost for words because the AMA was going to use the place as a multi-mall or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You guys are going to use it for a terminal
to enhance our operations.
I mean, if I had money, I would propose an airport. Everybody seems to...
We have site for airport. We need an airport out of town.
I'm just being sarcastic. I mean that. As soon as it became an empty space, we have 2 different government functionaries with 2 different ideas.
That is why I have my problem with you to the extent that we started from Tema and we are moving. So it is not as if the fire is there now.
Why is Vanderpoel going to build a multi-story complex there? He has got investors.
Per the laws of our country,
yes,
district assemblies are responsible for managing, building, managing market. So market God bend and the CEO of the assembly gets to the spot. The first thing that he can say is the government will be ready to build this. But he did not say that this is my land.
No, but he has his investment and plans ready.
Of course,
and you also have investments and plans ready.
So the owner of the land picks it.
And the owner of the land being he's
our great chiefs. They are more than willing to review the contract that we have with them, and so that we can continue the expansion project. Because of course, once we start the building of the terminal, we are going to create jobs for the people of the places.
Now Vanderpoel is out. Vanderpoel's plan is out.
I can say that.
Is he aware that he's not allowed to build on it?
I'm not too sure.
He's spoken on our platform. I interviewed him. He said that he's got plans for the...
For sure.
That he was going to bring the traders back in.
Now that he's aware that the original owners of the land are coming to do something, he would relocate. He will find somewhere to build a market for it.
Would that not have been the first thing to do? That if I was going to build on a land, just at least check up on who owns the land if I was able to do it?
Of course, he knows that the market was there. Of course. But for the clause that I was referring you to, he knew the market... traders were in charge, but we are saying that we are revoking that clause, and so we are going back for our piece of land.
Have you written to him in writing? Has he got it in writing, or he's also
the AMA?
Yeah.
Oh, on a more serious note, yes, we are engaging. I mean, it's one government anyway. They are not outside of the government structure.
From the communication coming, clearly not.
No, when I say so, he is part of the local government structure, and we come from the transport sector. So. We are coming to build terminal on our piece of land, and he had wanted to build this market. But now that he's aware that the owner is coming to use it, he's relocating.
Is it not unfair? Is it not very, sacrilegious, where You give a poor guy or a desperate guy a piece of land, you build on it. The guy says, yeah, at the moment I'm broke, I'll build on it, but I'll come and break you anytime. He says, oh, it doesn't matter. At the moment I need to eat, so you let me do it. And then truly you come up and break it. That's a very unfair contract for you to sign.
That is why in starting my submission, I thought it's totally out of place for Ministry of Railways to give railway lands out instead of going to grab field that are in the hands of individuals and other institutions. That is our point.
Well, viewers, that was a discussion and a half. But there you go. A lease was signed for 50 years with a clause to take it away from you anytime, whenever. I don't know whether it was signed out of desperation. I don't know if they did not read through the small print. But its chickens have come home to roost, allegedly, if indeed that is what they did. The Traders Association, the guy representing them, was unable to come, so we're unable to confirm if indeed that was what they said. But alternatively, or ultimately, it's going to be a modern railway facility. So if you are a trader at Kantamanto Market, you need to pack up your bags and find your alternative. It's been PM Express. My name is Nana Sakwao, and thanks for tuning in. And thank you very much, Egypt, for coming.
Thank you sincerely, and enjoy
You're welcome.
platform. Thank you.